Hey folks, Denny at TheraThink here, and today we're going to be talking about a case study for growing practice over the course of a year to $110,000 in annual revenue on an ongoing basis. We're talking about how to get there, some limiting beliefs, some goals based on how to break down getting to those actual numbers, looking at the actual numbers in charts, and then a lot of best practices to make sure that you ascending to that goal in your practice is doable, achievable. So let's begin. One of the first big beliefs that people have about insurance is that to create a successful private practice, you need to be doing private pay. And in reality, 92% of Americans have insurance and they want to use it for therapy. So, really reconsider the idea of insurance. It's not sexy, but it's incredibly important. Insurance connects you with the largest group of people who need therapy, who need help. And by working with insurance, you're tapping into that vast resource. $110,000 just sounds like a lot of money. And it is a lot of money. That would be a great success, but it's very achievable. It's achievable with simple math. So, $110,000 is $9,124 per month, which at $87 reimbursement per session is 24 sessions per week. So the question is, can you handle 24 sessions per week to build up to this number? If you could do 24 sessions per week and achieve this goal of $110,000, would you do it? So as a result of that, we have two goals. The first goal is getting our client load up to 24 sessions per week on average, and we're going to do that in three different ways. We're going to focus on credentialing, we're going to focus on seamless billing, and we're going to focus on your quality and craft of providing therapy and your services, and as a result, retention and referrals because you're doing a great job, not because you're hounding clients, but just because you're providing such a great service that over time people are going to be drawn to you and refer you out to other folks that they know. The second goal we're going to have is getting to that $87 per session rate. That's going to be related to credentialing, coding, and billing, and then also potentially renegotiating your rates. So I'll touch on that briefly. And again, the final limiting belief I want to just mention here is that managing insurance is impossible. Yes, it's technically possible to do this, get to this number, but to get to that number, you have to have spend all your free time on managing insurance or spend a bunch of money paying a billing service. And there's some truth to this, but it's not rocket science. It's routine. It's busy work in a lot of ways. It's doing your dishes. It's making sure that this part of practice is completed. And when you are thinking about going into private practice or you're expanding your practice, you need to just reconcile and be okay with the fact that taking insurance to build your practice this way does mean that you're going to have a little bit of this work. Now, I just want to note that if you decided to do a all cash practice, this time would have been spent other ways, probably on marketing. So there are differences in these different practices, and as a result, you're going to have different processes that you need to do and routine activities that you need to do to maintain the practice. Nevertheless, working with insurance is not at all impossible. It just does have a little bit of work involved. Let's talk about credentialing, getting back to how kind of the answers work in terms of getting to these numbers and these goals. Credentialing is going to be a huge component of this because credentialing is a driver or an engine for new clients to want to work with you in your practice. The more panels that you're working with, the better in the sense of marketing, in the sense that you have a larger variety of overall rates to choose from when working with clients, and you have a larger number of clients that want to work with you because you are part of the network or the pool, the panel, the group of people who have a certain insurance plan, and you're within their network and they want to potentially seek services with you. So for the credentialing timeline, I'm going to suggest that you apply to 5 insurance companies, potentially more. More is better, I think, in my opinion. But you want to make sure you're applying to 5 to start for your first year and that you are in network with all 5. So you want to keep applying until you get in network. You'll apply to all 5 in the first month. There's going to be quite a bit of work to do up front, or you can reach out to us about credentialing at TheraThink to help with that. But the main thing here is just to make sure that you get those applications in and submitted successfully. And over time, these insurance panels are going to start saying yes. So your first 60 days, you probably have a couple say yes at 45 or 50 days, and then maybe about 90 days and month by month until you have all 5 that have said yes. Uh, you can expect Medicare and Medicaid to take much longer to process and complete compared to these large commercial national insurance brands. Now, the coding, and I don't want to get into coding too much in this lecture because you can go to therathink.com to find out. Just Google anything coding related in TheraThink, and you're going to find an answer to the question that you might have, or you can reach out to us at therathink.com/schedule to chat about what's going on with your billing. But coding best practices here, high level, always code as accurately as you possibly can. Make sure that you're using specified diagnoses. I would encourage using multiple diagnosis codes. If you are conducting sessions for 54 minutes or longer, make sure to use 90837. I'd encourage you to potentially think about changing how long you conduct sessions and the configuration of your practice to be able to provide services that are 54 minutes or longer. So really do give that some time to think about. You will be reimbursed for a higher amount, but we want to make sure again per point 1 that we're coding as accurately as possible. In terms of your intake sessions, make sure to always code for them. Some folks just ignore that. Make sure to use that 90791 code for your first session with a new client to make sure that you're getting reimbursed maximally as well. And again, accuracy. This is also about medical billing in a lot of ways because you want to make sure that we're coding as accurately as possibly can. 2 add-on codes you might want to be considering using when appropriate and accurate. 99050 for services provided in office outside of regularly scheduled hours. So if you made an exception for somebody outside of your normal hours, then you can use this code. Add-on code 99051 if services are provided during a weekend, an evening, or during a holiday. Now, if you are uncertain, I would encourage you to not overcode for sessions, meaning don't use too many add-on codes and things like that if you're not certain that you're confident you're using the right code. But you can always go ahead and work with a billing service like TheraThink or undercode if you're having issues, or find another billing service that can help you make sure that you're coding as accurately as you possibly can. Now, again, I didn't want to get too caught up on the billing component of things, but you need to ensure that your billing is seamless for you to be able to sort of see the graphs that I'm about to show make sense. The reason why is that you want there to be as little friction as possible in the relationship you have from a business perspective to working with your clients. Usually, if you're working in a group, they would manage that for you. You, as a private practitioner, are going to need to manage the sort of business systems in the background yourself, or outsource, delegate that work to a competent team of professionals who can help you with that work. So, getting to again this outrageous $110,000 a year number. How do we get there? Well, we talked about credentialing and the time frame there, and so this spreadsheet here is going to show insurance panels over time for the first 12 months, new clients over time for the first 12 months, closed clients, meaning non-returning clients, returning clients, per month, the number of sessions per month, per week, and then reimbursement per month and per year. My assumptions going in here is that you have applied to and been accepted to 5 insurance panels over the course of 5 months, that you are being reimbursed for $87 per session, that you are getting 1 new client per panel, right, per insurance contract per month, and that you are having about 10% non-returning clients on an ongoing basis. So here's what the math looks like. Month 1, you have no panels, no clients, and no income. Bummer. Month 2, 2 panels, 2 new clients, 2 sessions for the first week, but basically no income. Month 3, you have 3 panels, 3 new clients. You have 1 client that's not returning, so you have 2 returning clients. You're now at 9 sessions per month and 4 sessions per week. You're getting paid a little bit of money, $783 per month, but you're making about 10 grand per year. Now you're going to notice the increments here go up quite quickly because you are keeping clients over time while simultaneously adding new clients as well, still accounting for a number of closed clients. So in month 4, you have 5 returning clients for 23 sessions per week. I'm sorry, per month, excuse me. And then it grows and grows and grows to, you know, basically you can see the math here. The difference between the new clients and the closed clients is how many additional clients are being added per month. And we can kind of extrapolate that to be about 4.5 sessions per week. And as a result, we can get to the number of sessions per month in total. And then we can get to that times 87 for the total amount. So you can see here, it is a really linear progression. It is not magic getting up to these numbers. And the assumptions that I have built in here of one new client per panel per month is really not outrageous at all. I think that is an underestimation. And the number of closed clients at 10%, I think, is also, fairly conservative. It depends on your service. It depends on the clients. It depends on the seasonality. Depends on a number of things. These aren't going to be always one thing. This is just a way of projecting the actual math out to show you, looking back in it over time, that this number, this $110,000 number, really is not outrageous in the slightest. Now, the issue at the end of this graph here, after the first year of really hustling to grow your practice, your caseload, is that you don't want to conduct a certain number of sessions per month. So you as a provider of service will reach your own limit in time, and it won't be a matter of inbound clients wanting to work with you. It will be more of a matter of the number of hours that you can work a month, that you want to work, how you want to design your own life. And that's where you have the ability then to, with multiple insurance panels, start to become a bit more selective about who you take on in your caseload. You can do that either by the type of client, their needs. You can also do it by the insurance reimbursements from that panel as well. All of these factors account for when you will eventually be taking on clients more selectively. Let's look at the actual graphs though. So the graphs are actually very straightforward. Again, you're going to see here, this is a sort of a bar graph, a little bit harder to consume. I have a line graph here in a second, but the thrust of the argument here is that over time we're losing 1, 2, and then 3 clients per month. We're gaining 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a steady 5 per month. This will ebb and flow on both directions, but you need to have the net be positive here, and that will dictate the rate of growth or the number of returning clients that you have per month over time, and therefore the number of sessions over time. Here's a visualization of this information in terms of your income. Again, this isn't a crazy graph here. It is extremely linear, and it will eventually flatten out because of your time commitments more than anything. And of course, just multiplying this by 12 to get to your annual income. So this is going to be at 12 months, you will be at $117,000 of earnings per year, but you will not have earned that much at this point. You will have earned each amount of income for that previous month. So what you can do is go, back to add these values up, and that will be your first year of earnings. And then on an ongoing basis, you'll be at this value, which will be about 9.7, 9,000, something like that per month. Okay, now I mentioned quickly renegotiating rates. That's going to be one other thing that you can do once you have that full caseload and you become a bit more selective about the insurance companies that or the other clients that you're choosing to work with. You can use a service like TheraThink. You can use our free rate negotiation tool online, or maximize your income tool to figure out what you should be maximizing in terms of panels. And we'll be actually launching soon a insurance company recommendation tool. You can always go to therathink.com, click on our tools drop down, and that's going to give you a list of our tools that we have available. I'm excited to release that here soon. But the main thrust of this is that we are trying to, at 12 months, we've worked with a bunch of insurance companies at this point, and we are now looking to renegotiate our rates. You should look to get a rate renegotiation of 5 to 8% to start for your first year, and then on an ongoing basis, apply regularly and look for up to 10 or 15%, expecting something like 8 to 10. That's what we see in our experience over at TheraThink. So just stepping back, is this easy? No, it is not easy. It does take time. It does take energy to manage this work. It does take work for you to continue your education and focus and become a better therapist as well. But is this outrageous? Not at all. Hopefully this has broken down some limiting beliefs about how these numbers look for an actual practical case study for you as an individual conducting 24-ish sessions per week. Something that's very reasonable to do. It just isn't something that's really sexy. You're not going to see this on, Instagram marketing about starting an all cash thriving practice. This is just what, again, the vast majority of practices look like. It's not flashy, but this is how it works. And this is how you can get to these bigger income numbers in your practice, is just by really thinking backwards about getting to those numbers through number of sessions per week and your reimbursement rates, which you can focus on and work on those as separate things to tackle. So you need, as a provider, to have the focus in your own practice for your own growth, for the attention to your clients, so that when you are in session, you are attentive, and the actual time to have sessions in the first place, so that you can serve your clients based on their needs as well. To do all of these things, to be a kick-ass therapist, and again, I'm not a therapist. I do insurance billing, so over at TheraThink. So these are things that I would think, as someone who's consumed and used therapy, these would be beneficial to anyone in this relationship. How you do these things, how you create the time, the attention, and the availability for growth for yourself, is by systematizing your business. And so, which is the business side of your practice. So focusing on these high level things, getting them done early on, so that you can focus on your craft, is going to be mission critical, especially as you get your caseload bigger and bigger. You're not going to have as much time to be focused on all of the different parts of your business side of your practice. So in summary, and thanks for listening through this lengthy video, making $110,000 can be divided into concrete goals. Getting to $87 per session for reimbursement through correct coding, renegotiating your rates, and potentially working with a billing service to increase your overall reimbursement rate. Getting to 23 sessions per week on average, which you can do through credentialing in a progressive and linear manner. And in total, adding 2 or 3 clients per month, really a digestible amount of clients, until you reach the point where you are no longer interested in adding more and more clients. You're starting to feel a bit overwhelmed from actually doing therapy, as opposed to the opposite problem of not having enough clients in the first place. You can do all of this and get there in 12 months. It is reasonable to do. The main steps are to get credentialed with insurance progressively, make sure that you're seamlessly managing your billing, eventually negotiate your rates to make sure that you're getting paid maximally, and just keep kicking ass as a therapist. Keep providing great service. That's the main thing. So I'm excited for you. Hopefully this is going to be a great year of growth for you in your practice. Hopefully this tutorial, this case study, broke through some limiting beliefs about what it's like to get to $110,000 of income on an ongoing basis. If you are stuck with the insurance component of this whole mess, you can reach out to us at therathink.com/schedule to do a phone call and chat about what's going on with your billing, or just get a little blurb email from us at therathink.com/billing-service. Go over there. We'll send you an email about what we're up to and how we can potentially help. Thanks so much for watching and walking. Hopefully this has been instructive again. I'm Denny, and until next time, cheers.